You are listening to the B.I.G Show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G Show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
Oh my God.
It is the big show,
I hadn't heard that theme song in so long.
bruh. I'm Calvin. That guy's Garland. We
Yo!
we're live on YouTube right now. I believe we might be live on Facebook also, but you can get us on all the podcast platforms. If you have
Yo!
Spotify, you'll be able to see our beautiful faces. I will probably try to download this tonight so we can have it tomorrow morning at some time. But speaking of the intro, that joint says a weekly breakdown. Uh, bro, we just be lying to the people and
Right.
shit.
In the words of Anita Baker, been so long.
I would say we are back, but it seems like every time we get on, I'm like, we're back. We're back.
Right.
Like, good gracious,
Guess what, y'all? We still around. We still around. We just yeah. Well, it's all right, man. We back. We back. Whatever. I don't know if the
to
people missed this or whatever.
to our credit, now we don't want to be like some of these sports shows on here out here and just give you bullshit because it ain't hardly nothing going on. Once the NBA finals are over, it's not really a whole lot going on. I mean, you get baseball, but that's mid-season baseball. So
Right.
it's not like it's pennant races. It's not like people are breaking records. They not even close to records. I mean, you might get your All-Star weekend, but people don't pay much attention to All-Star
I mean,
weekend.
unless
So
y'all wanted us to talk about Wimbledon and Little League
exactly.
Baseball
Exactly. And Little
and
League Baseball, the Little League World Series just started.
yeah,
Even they don't
so
want to mess around in July.
right. So yeah, nothing to talk about, y'all. So this year we played this smart. We like, look, yo, after the finals, it's not going to be too much to talk about. Let's just chill into then, enjoy some
Exactly.
summer. Landlord taking over the house, trips, all that other stuff. And so let's
Exactly.
just get into it, man. What happened for the last couple months, Calvin? I mean, what you been doing since? I think the last time we broadcast might have been before Fourth of July. It might have been the end of June. I think it was the last time we really did something. So, I mean,
Yeah.
did you travel any over the summer? I mean, summer's not over, but did you travel over the months that we've been gone, the weeks?
I feel like I did, but I don't think I did. I feel like other than like the beach and maybe some out of town cookouts like we've gone to like not Fairfax, but whatever part in Virginia going in towards Richmond, Virginia. We've been down there a couple
Okay.
times for my cousin's fiance's cookout. So we stayed down there. We got to see a 4D movie. I think I told you
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Fantastic
thrown
Four.
around and
Mm-hmm.
shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but nah, just been chilling, really. Just been chilling, relaxing, being a granddad, being a husband, being a good employee.
All
Just
right.
been chilling. That's it.
Just doing the
That's it. What
summer
about
stuff.
you? Oh, you
I
had you had some things going on.
Yeah, I did. We took a family. This was our second international family vacation trip. The first time we went to Jamaica. This year we went to Cancun, and so
Nice.
Cancun was great. So it was me, my wife, and my two daughters, adult daughters, and so we have a timeshare, and our timeshare has a resort. As a matter of fact, they have two resorts in Cancun, and so I went to Cancun, and the crazy part about Cancun or this trip to Cancun was my sister and my brother-in-law. They also have a timeshare, and they had a timeshare in Cancun as well. And so they planned a trip with their children, with my nieces and nephews, to be there at the same time that we were going to be at our resort in Cancun. And so, as a couple of us flew down on the same flight together, and so we got together for a day or two, did some stuff together, but mostly, we did the stuff you do on vacations, excursions and stuff. We brought a snorkeling excursion, and this one, it wasn't like the snorkel excursion that we had when we went on a couple cruises that we went on. They would normally just take us to a beach, dock near the beach. We get off, go on the beach, put our stuff on, and the waters are calmer in the Caribbean areas, and so you're not experiencing a lot of waves. Well, down in Cancun, the water was very rough, and so they got us out in like the middle of the ocean. And so the guy gets on the radio and he says, "Yeah, this is really for only strong swimmers. If you can't really swim, you might not want to do this." Now, machismo, I can swim. I can swim pretty well, but I ain't been swimming like every day. I'm not Michael Phelps or nothing, And so everybody puts on the little gear. I got on the life vest and whatever, and I put on the flippers, but I'm just feeling like maybe you shouldn't jump out here. Maybe you should not get into this. And Calvin jumped off the boat, jumped in. Me and my brother-in-law jumped in at the same time. He's a Navy vet, so that lets you know how well he can swim. So we jumped in at the same time, and Calvin, the current came and swept me away a little bit. As soon as it did that, I looked at him and said, "Yo, I'm going back to the boat." And I swam back to the boat, pulled my fat booty butt up on the boat, and got on there and waited for my wife, my sister who swims every day, my wife who swims several times a week, and my Navy veteran brother-in-law to go ahead and snorkel out there and come back. But it was real rough waters. And so I was feeling a little like, man, maybe I can't swim no more. Maybe I need to go back to the Y and learn how to swim. But I made it through. And so, man, we did a little something in the town. We went down to like downtown Cancun and did some stuff. They had food trucks and they had this area that's like an artist area. And then our last night we went to this restaurant where they did a fire show. They had the dancers come out and they're blowing the fire and twirling the sticks and all that stuff. It was a great vacation. It was very humid, kind of like what we had left, the seventh circle of hell in terms of weather. It was very hot. And one of my final stories about Cancun. Now, Cancun has a lot of seaweed. You don't get to really swim from the beach because it was red flags up. When you see red flags, that means you don't get in the water. It's a serious rip currents and all those things. And so um, we were at the resort pool, and you could get the free daiquiris and margaritas and what have you as part of your package. And so I'm at the pool, me and Paula, we chilling, and the bartender is killing me, hit me with the back-to-back margaritas. Every time I finish a margarita, I look down at the swim up bar. There's another cup sitting there. So I'm having a great time. I meet somebody from Chicago, and I must have been talking loud because my wife swims over to me. She's rubbing my back like, "Honey, honey." Like I must be laughing real loud. I got a couple drinks up in me. So I'm having fun. And so we get out the pool and we go back to the room, and I go out on the balcony, which is facing the beach, and I see a man swimming in the ocean, but he's stuck in the rip current and he cannot get to shore, Cal. I mean, he's swimming and he's swimming. And I start screaming, "Hey, get out the water! Get out the water!" And so my wife, they're running like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "That man out there, he's stuck in the rip current." I mean, Calvin, he trying and he trying. There's no lifeguards out there. Ain't nobody on the beach. I'm like, "Hey, sir, get out the water!" And he's swimming and he trying to get back. And eventually he does make it to shore. And my oldest daughter, turns to me and said, "Daddy, look, stay out of white people business. If they want to get in the rip current and the seaweed and swim with a storm coming up, let them do it." And I was like, "Okay," I went and sat my drunk butt down. So yeah, man, Cancun was great. Um, I did do another I did another sports podcast. I was a
Did
guest
did yeah,
on
yeah.
the Be More Sports Pod, representing B.I.G show and all things black. Definitely gave them a rundown that we're not rookies at this. As a matter of fact, it's a possibility that we may be looking at a new format. This is something that's produced by someone that I know. It's a nice little studio over in East Baltimore and all. And so we may be changing our format in the coming months and what have you. And we want to see what type of price they work out for us and stuff. But it was a nice experience being on somebody else's show. It's tough being on someone's show who don't know nothing about sports.
Be careful. We ain't there yet.
Yeah, I know, but Calvin, we know about sports. I mean, we know enough. It's very functional, right? And you saw the
I
broadcast. You saw the
watched it. I
broadcast,
watched it. I watched
and yeah,
it.
yeah,
Let me just say, and I don't want to make it seem like they were bad. They weren't. But let me just say that
it wasn't bad. I mean, but yeah,
we
they just
we've been doing this since the pandemic, and we've had our rough moments. And rough just means, for me, it just means unpolished. And they sounded a little unpolished, and that was all.
yeah,
We're used to this now. We're used to one another.
yeah.
To the host credit on that show, not only was Garland new guest, but the second
The
gentleman
second
was a
guest
new
was new as
guest
well.
also. So he had to navigate through them. We're a little more polished. We got this down, like the
Right.
format and all. But some people will look at us and be like, "How y'all forget? We'll forget a name quick.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah. I mean, trust me, we're gonna forget a name tonight.
we'll forget a name. Somebody that's real common. We'll be like,
What's the
what's his
girl
name?
that
Yeah,
played
yeah, Lamar
for?
Jackson. That's
Yeah,
that's that's it. That's
what's
it.
the boy
We'll
that
forget
played
a
for the
name quick.
Ravens?
No, but shout out to them. You did
Yeah, it was
now.
nice. Thank you for
Now,
the invite. My
let me
girl
big up my
Sandy
guy. You
invited
did
me.
get on there and run circles around him with the sports knowledge now, Yeah, I mean, hey, but it's what we do. You know what I mean? It's what we do.
I mean, look at the big brain on Brad. Yeah, so yeah, it was a good experience. And so yeah, summer's just been cool, man. Just trying to make it through the weather. We had a stretch of about 2 weeks where it was 98, but a heat index of 118
Mhm.
and all those things. And then we had great weather last week, and it was in the 80s and everything. And so just thankful to be here, man. Thankful to be alive and stuff. Calvin doesn't like beaches. This is something that I've learned recently. Calvin does not like sand.
I
He
don't
does
like
not
sand.
like, and
Well,
that's crazy.
we were at the game and talked about it Tuesday. Jay
Yeah.
feels the same way. It's just too much sand. Listen, if you take all the sand away from the beach, then you'll have a pool. I'm cool with pools. I
Hmm.
can't. It's the sand, man. I still got sand in my car from we took the landlord to Rehoboth Beach, and that
Right.
was like a month ago. I still got sand in my car that I ain't vacuumed out yet. I just don't. I don't like lugging the stuff. I don't
Hmm.
like the sand and the
Yeah.
setup
You
and the
know what? It could
breakdown.
be crazy when it's like crazy hot and you got to walk across the sand. You
Yes.
got the sandals on. You're trying to navigate and
Then
not
we
burn
got
your
the
feet.
we got the buggy,
Right.
but the wheels don't roll on the sand. They roll on the ground, but on the sand the wheels don't roll. So you dragging that motherfucker. Just
Right. Right. I
I'm
feel
not
you.
a beach
I
person. My
feel you.
wife loves the beach. I'm not so much a beach person.
Yeah, when I was in college, when I was at Hampton, it's in a beach town. We're right near Virginia Beach. There was a beach in Hampton, Buckrow Beach, and the campus is surrounded by water, and so you can't avoid it. And my junior year, I had a girlfriend who was beach crazy. She loved the beach, and so we were in summer school my senior year, and every day after class we went to the beach. And so yeah, that's how I kind of got hooked to doing the beach thing and stuff. And so yeah, good life. Now, over the summer, man, we had really two major deaths, and I want to talk about the first one first because I know that you are a big wrestling fan, as opposed to me. I know a little wrestling.
Not anymore, but I have
But
my
this guy, you
phase.
was yeah. This
Yeah,
guy, you
yeah,
probably
yeah,
it was
yeah.
during your heyday.
Yep.
And so, if you did not know, Hulk Hogan passed away in July on July 24th. He was 71 years old. He was a six-time WWF champion. He basically ushered in wrestling into the mainstream, the
Hmm.
WWE at that time, or the WWF at that time.
WWF at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of took it from he was the bridge. Well, I won't say between Bruno San Martino because after Bruno San Martino, there was someone else. I forget his name.
Bob Backlund
Yeah,
was the
Bob Backlund. Yeah, and
mhm.
so you had Bruno San Martino. To show you how old I am. Bob Backlund, and then Hulk Hogan kind of took over for the Bob Backlund, and he ushered the WWF into the mainstream. And so, as a young wrestling fan, did you ever see him live down at the arena? Because WWF used to come there a lot, or what were some of your memories of Hulk?
So no, actually no. So when I was younger, I didn't go to any wrestling matches, which was
Oh wow.
crazy because I used to always watch it on Saturday. It would come on Saturday afternoons. Then they started having it come on the Saturday night main event. Hulk Hogan was that guy that helped usher in things like WrestleMania.
Right.
He made it extremely popular. Like Hulk Hogan was one of those figures, one of those characters that was bigger than life at the time. I'm trying to think of, he if there's no Rock, if there's if before Hulk Hogan, no John Cena, if there wasn't a Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan became an international superstar because of wrestling. I mean, if we just have to, if we could, and I don't want to say it that way. Let me think of a better way to say it. If we could pause our memory of Hulk Hogan at his wrestling career, he's an icon. He's an icon without a doubt. He was Hulk Hogan at that time was as big as a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, like any athlete you could think of at that time. Hulk Hogan was just as big, if not bigger, than all of them.
Definitely. I mean, when I had to say, I was a little wrestling fan when I was younger, like I said, WWF. And then when I went to college, wrestling still was very regional at that point. And so in the South, you had the NWA, the
NWA.
National Wrestling Association. So um, you had the Four Horsemen, you had Ric
Mhm.
Flair, you had Tully Blanchard, you
Road
had
Warriors.
You had Dusty Rhodes. This is Dusty Rhodes, and
The American
I'm
theme, Dusty Road, baby.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you, baby. When I get the Ric Flair, baby, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do to Ric Flair. Oh my goodness, man! And so that was really the big wrestling in Virginia. But when Hulk blew up and he took that thing nationwide, then you start seeing a lot of these guys that were big in the regionals start to go to
Hmm.
WWE. And so eventually you see Ric Flair there, you see the Horsemen, uh,
Lex Luger.
Lex
Lex Luger
Luger,
came from
Steiner
NWA.
Brothers,
Hmm.
all of them. You start seeing them
The
in
Hart Brothers, the Hart
Hart Brothers.
Foundation.
Yep,
Hart
Hart
Brothers, yeah.
Foundation. Yeah, all those cats start going over to the WWE. So yeah, but like you said, we can't just rest on Hulk's wrestling. It's his politics that pretty much went out with him at the end. We know him more probably this generation does as a MAGA supporter, as a Donald Trump supporter. So how did you deal with that? The politics of it's the Hulkster, baby. You got to eat. And we know he was shooting up the steroids and stuff.
Yeah.
But
With the 24-inch pythons,
yeah, with the
brother.
pythons, brother.
What
You
you
got
gonna
to see
do?
this, brother. What you gonna do, brother?
Hulkamania running wild on you.
Yeah. So and I
Yeah.
think a lot of those I mean, hey, Vince McMahon's wife is the Secretary of Education. And so I think a lot of these wrestling guys, I think Triple H, he was MAGA supporter. And
Yeah,
so
he was
what's your
at the
thought about that in
one of
terms
the
of
most
Hulkster?
recent press conferences. He was
Yeah.
standing behind him. Um, so if you live long enough, your heroes will eventually disappoint you in some way or another.
Sure.
And when you are our age, kids growing up in the 70s, 80s, becoming adults in the 90s, there were so many people that now disappoint you with their politics because you feel personally attacked. I mean, these are people that you actually looked at one point and was like, yeah, I like him. Just think about Dean Cain, like when he was playing Superman
Yeah.
on TV.
Right.
Now he's an ICE agent. It's like, these people, did they even care about my culture? Hulk Hogan was so disappointing in the fact that not only that, but so many things have come out about him, how he was a snake in WWF. He was kind of like the informant. He
Right.
was the one making all the money, but he was also the one blocking the other guys
Sure.
from their success. And how I deal with it is just how I've dealt with everything in this. Let's call it the MAGAverse now. You gotta look at it and shake your head and move on with life.
Right.
Um, eh, you can't fret on it because you at this point you would be forever talking about it. I mean, some of your favorite real athletes are MAGA supporters. I mean, if you like the Bosa brothers, they're MAGA
Big
supporters.
supporters. Yes.
I mean, and not just look at some of your black athletes. I mean, even them. So it's not
Le'Veon Bell.
exclusive
A
to
couple others.
white athletes. But yeah, it's just like everything else I dealt with when it comes to this Magaverse. I just kind of move on. I note it. I just basically note it, and I just move on.
Yeah. All right, man. So,
John Harbaugh.
yeah, come on, man. Now, well, he didn't necessarily say he was supporting Trump, but he said it was great to meet the president.
He said, I support the president and I want him to be a success just like I support my quarterback.
Ooh,
That's literally his words.
ooh. All
That's
right.
literally his
Mm-hmm.
words.
Harbaugh is good for at least 2 or 3 losses a season. So
I
maybe.
just hope he does not. I hope this karma doesn't come back and hit him in the playoffs of the Super Bowl this year. We got it. You know what? We talk football another time.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, y'all, we got the football show coming up. As a matter of fact, we want to let y'all know now. Our annual football, our preview show is coming up starting next week. We're going to start with the NFC. Week following that, we're going to go to AFC, and then we're going to end up with our predictions, our Super Bowl predictions. I'm trying to think who won the pick'em last year. Was it the guy with the white hat on? I think so. Yeah. So and then we're gonna
My
go
mom
into our
said, if you
season
don't
picking.
have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all. You keep
I
quiet
was
over
I
here.
was I was terrible at guillotine. Though. I was terrible in the
Who
fantasy
won
league.
get who won guillotine last year?
Not
Was it
me.
the guy with the black hat?
It was,
Give me my money.
I know I was out after week one, so let's not talk about that. All right, it's always one. Hey man, this death was not sports related, but I think it hit a lot of people, particularly black men of our age. Malcolm Jamal Warner was an American actor, director, producer, musician, and poet. He's best known for his role as Theo Huxtable on the NBC sitcom The Cosby Show from 1984 to 1992. He earned an Emmy nomination. He was a Grammy Award winner. He won a Grammy Award with Robert Glasper and Layla Hathaway on one of Robert Glasper's Black Radio editions. He died in a swimming accident while on vacation with his family on July the 20th. He was 54 years of age in Costa Rica. Uh, Reports where he's an excellent swimmer, but got caught into a riptide and unfortunately was not able to recover. And then they recovered his body a little further down the beach. And so I know for me, when I think about the impact of the character of Theo Huxtable, um, it reminded me of I had the experience of being the brother who, when his sister brought over her good-looking friends, he tried to throw on a cologne, be stinking up the house, trying to go put on a clean shirt and act like I was Suave Bola. And try to holler at her friends and stuff like Theo tried to do with the niece friends when friends came over to study. And also being a person who really did not figure out who they were in terms of their abilities and skills until they became an adult. You know that Hux Theo character, he had dyslexia, and he really once he realized that he was already in college and striving, and then he fell into his calling of being a teacher and helping others. And that role, I think, was very pivotal of showing a young black kid growing up in family life and, the challenges of living up to parent expectation and having your own dreams and also trying to holler at the honeys and stuff. He was relatable in terms of who we probably were at that times and points in our lives. It didn't come off corny. It came off as a very believable representation of young black men and all. And so, what are your thoughts about Malcolm Jamal Warner, that Theo Huxtable character, and all those things? Any impact on you?
Yeah, so they tell you all the time, especially when it comes to minorities, representation is important. And you are absolutely right. We literally grew up
Yes.
with and like Theo Huxtable. How many capers had he gotten into that we've all done? Getting an earring in your ear and your dad
Yes.
trying to see it and you leaning
The
back so he can't
earring.
see it.
The
The
dirty
Gordon
broom.
Gartrell trying to
Right.
get something try and get something at a discount and it don't quite work out. But then when it work out, you like, oh yeah, the
Right.
Gordon Gartrell. How about the you think you're a rapper jamming on the one? You remember he went to see
Jam,
Stevie
jam,
Wonder and they
jamming on the one.
jamming on the one, jamming on the one.
Right.
Coming down the steps for the anniversary of his grandparents. You know the right time. Come on, man. I don't do Ray Charles. I mean, we
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
grew up with Theo Huxtable, having a homeboy like Cockroach,
Yes.
just getting into so many capers,
Having a Justine in our life.
having a relationship with your sisters that can be tumultuous at times,
Hmm.
having the relationship with your parents that sometimes you getting punished and you might think you too old. Or like when he told his dad one time, yeah, we could get this because we rich. And he had to tell him, no, 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 no.
Right.
I'm rich. Your mother's rich.
Right.
You don't have anything.
Right.
Having to pay rent. Remember, he had to pay
Right.
rent. And he had a
Right.
money. Like we literally grew
I'll
up.
live off of bread and peanut butter and jelly.
Hey man, yeah man. Shout out to Theo Huxtable. Then to see how he grew up.
Yes.
One of the, and I don't want to say one of the few, but one of the better stories of a teen actor growing up and not straying off. You never heard a bad thing about him. You talked about the poetry. He did shows like Malcolm and Eddie with Eddie Griffin.
Right.
He was on The Accused. He was on he was on the Doctor Show. I can't remember the name of
The
that.
resident.
The Resident. I
Hmm.
mean, Theo Huxtable or Malcolm Jamal Warner has been. He was always there. You know what I mean? And we all feel like, oh man, like it hurt everyone so bad because we all feel like I was there with him. Like you know
Yes.
what I mean? We all felt like we were there because we could relate. Representation is important. It's very
Yeah, I agree with you, in terms of the evolution of him from a child actor to an adult actor. You don't necessarily always see that as a success. I think of the Cosby Show, outside of Raven Simone, he's probably, I would say he's probably the most successful actor to come out of that cast of kids that were on that show. He did have the resident, Malcolm and Eddie. Um, he had Read Between the Lines. That was a show when BET
Mhm.
was doing shows with Tracy Ellis Ross. And so, he did a large gambit of things and also with the music. And he wasn't a slouch in that as well. And so, yeah, it was great to see that. Yeah, we wasn't seeing, behind the music exposés or what's the one that comes on TV One?
Um,
Not undisputed. I forget what it might be called. Undisputed. Uh,
no,
what's the show that come on TV One that they do the background of the
it's not behind the music. Theirs was not unheralded, but okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
see, look at
See,
it. I
like we
told you.
told you,
I told you
we're gonna forget. We
I
gonna
told you we were going to forget before the night was
unsung,
through.
unsung,
Unsung. Thank you.
unsung.
I told you we was going to forget something, y'all, before the night was through. And so, yeah, it was great not to see an unsung episode on
Exactly.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, and he had hit the skids, and he was in rehab, and all of those particular things. And so, rest well, Theo. We appreciate your energy, the spirit that you brought to that role, and he really exhibit like he was one of our first faces of young hip hop on TV that was
Mhm.
not corny as well.
He
He
was in the
directed.
Houdini video.
Yeah, he was in the Funky Beat.
He
He
was in
directed the special
Velvet.
ed video.
He
He
was
was in
in
the
the
Bell.
Velvet DeVoe video. Not
He
Velvet, the
directed
New
that,
Edition video.
the new
It
edition
was New
video.
Edition video.
Yeah, he directed that, and so
Yeah.
he had an early hand in directing a lot of your early hip hop videos, your like we said, New Edition and things like that. And so he was a good representation of that. He did not come off like Ozone or Turbo. And so we appreciate you, Malcolm Jamal
No
Warner.
breaking slander.
Yeah, no, no breaking slander.
Breaking slander.
Let me go get that broom, and we can do a little breaking and whatnot with the broom.
Boy, Chuck. Boy, Chuck.
All right, man. One of the things I heard over the summer was just happened to flipping through the radio, and I wanted to bring to you, see what you thought. People are kind of really fed up with black women in the WNBA, and it's not because they're throwing dildos on the floor, but it's because they beating up on Caitlin Clark, man. Poor Caitlin. They didn't beat Caitlin. That Caitlin that missed a total, Calvin, of 19 regular season games this year. They've only played about 32 games, so she's missed over half of the games this season due to injury. And they saying, look, y'all got to stop it. Y'all wasn't making no money before Caitlin. Didn't nobody know about y'all before Caitlin. And y'all messing up y'all own thing. Stop it. Y'all need to stop beating up Caitlin. Man, you think the NBA got a beating up Caitlin problem because their biggest draw? I mean, every time I turn on the TV, Indiana Fever on TV, and it's good. They still winning because they have a good core there. But most of those games that's on TV is Indiana Fever games, and they're on TV for Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark ain't there to play in them games. They came to Baltimore. They sold out that game. That was before she got injured. Caitlin Clark ain't playing that game. They didn't play
I
some
sold my
big
ticket.
arenas, and she's supposed to play, but she can't play because she's injured. And so, you think that the NBA has I would say, a refereeing problem when it comes to Caitlin Clark?
Uh, no. I mean, if one of the things you're asking is, do the WNBA players go after her? I'm sure they do. You goddamn right. Whenever you get on the court, if you've ever played any type of sport, especially basketball,
Mm-hmm.
you are going after. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Sure.
Like a guy told me one day when I was young and actually playing, I went down in the middle, had to clutch a shot. I made it, but I took some punishment for it. He looked at me and was like, boy, you coming down in this danger zone. It's real danger down here, son. Hey, Caitlin, it's real danger down there, girl. I mean, you ain't going in the hole like that all the time. But listen,
Yeah.
when you are the face of any league, they are, and I don't want to say she's the face because I believe Aja Wilson is the face. But when you are one of the more popular players in any league, they are coming after you. They went after Michael Jordan. They went after LeBron James. They're going to come after you. You have to create that toughness and make yourself even more iconic. What we've been seeing, and listen, I don't want to mess with y'all's little savior, but what we've been seeing is that as tough as she may be mentally, physically, she ain't withstanding them blows. Y'all can talk about Angel Reese all day. Angel Reese down there banging on them boards and still banging on them boards. She get hurt every now and then like everybody else, but
She's
she
been
not
out for the
missing the
last couple of
time
weeks.
like Caitlin Clark.
Right.
I mean, come on, Caitlin. I know you a 3-point shooter. Larry Bird was a 3-point shooter. A white boy that took the punishment. He fought back. Larry Bird played with bloody noses. Larry Bird talked shit and backed it up. What you gonna do, Caitlin? You depending on the refs to save you. You're depending on your supporters to save you. Now, to Caitlin Clark's credit, she has never, ever spoken about any of that stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark doesn't She doesn't do the beefs. Caitlin Clark talks shit, and she don't back down on that court. I will give her that. But Caitlin Clark has never fell into that whole the white people support me and the black people don't. She has never fallen into any of that. So to her credit, she's a ball player. Just physically, she seems to get injured a little more than a lot of the more popular and better ball players that we're used to seeing on her status.
Okay, I would agree with that. I would dispute you on one thing though. I would say yes, Caitlin Clark is the most popular player in the NBA. Not the best, but I would say the most popular.
Well, I said
For
face
for
of the league. I said
I would
face
say
of the
she's the face of the league because for the casual person, if you ask them about the WNBA, 9 times out of 10 they're going to say Caitlin Clark. They're not going to say Asia Wilson. They're not going to say Nafisha Collier. They're not going to say the other great players. They're not going to say Sabrina Ionescu. They're not going to say Stewie. They're going to say Caitlin. They're going to name Caitlin.
I'll give
Okay,
you most popular.
most popular,
When
most
I
popular.
see when I think of face of the league, I think about someone who is not only a popular face, but someone who's won in the league.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Um,
I agree with you. I think it should be Asia. I think it should be
I think
Nafisha
Asia Wilson.
Collier.
I
I
really
think,
think Asia
yeah,
Wilson's the face of the league.
okay.
I think
They
Caitlin
want
Clark is
her.
the most popular.
Yeah, but I think for the casual person, the person who brings people to who brings the milk, what milkshake brings the people to the yard is Caitlin.
I mean,
It's Caitlin.
Asia got the
Asia's got
Nikes out.
rings and she's got the Nikes out,
She
but the milkshake that brings people to the yard is Caitlin. I will say this though, a couple times I've watched the WNBA game, they do be playing like it's like 1970s, 1980s NBA. It be rough down there. They
listen,
every layup is a fight. They be
the
ready to
girls don't fuck
swing.
around.
They do
Like
not play
girls are
around. It's
Marissa Thomas that played at Maryland.
yes,
That girl was like a goddamn bully on the court. She even
yeah,
looked like a bully.
yes.
Like she
Is she back with her wife? Because I know they were on the same team and shit. Then they broke them up, and
yeah,
then the wife didn't work out in Indiana.
I think
So
she got even crazier when
yeah,
that.
so but I think I don't know, I wouldn't say they have a refereeing problem, but I do say it's a very physical game, and
Extremely.
eventually they're going to have to start giving like the Magic and the Bird and the Jordan treatment to some of those players, even the LeBron treatment, that you're going to have to kind of protect your star players because people, since it's such a short season, people come to see the names.
That's
Yeah,
absolutely true.
people come see the names, and so you
Hence to
selling
why
out
quarterbacks have so many rules in football.
exactly.
So
So since you selling out bigger arenas, you're not, when Caitlin comes to your town, you're not playing in the little small arena where they play. They're gonna take it to the big arena. People are coming to see Caitlin. You got to make sure Caitlin's there. That's not gonna last another year. She keeps getting beat down, and
I
people
agree.
eventually not going to like you. Sold your tickets because hey,
I
I want to
sold
see
my ticket
Caitlin.
because she wasn't there. I went to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Orioles game. I sold my ticket and went to
right.
the O's game.
So yeah, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, they got a lot of great players. I think maybe now people, since people are really watching the games, they're going to realize there's a lot of great players throughout the league, and it's not just Caitlin. All right, so let me move on to the next thing, man. As you think about the summer, is there any other sports story that kind of stuck out for you? Something that happened that kind of caught your attention?
Yeah, so I've spent all day thinking about this, and a lot of my big stories were winter. But I did come to one story that was probably the which I think may have been the biggest story. Well, yeah, may have been the biggest story. And that is Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers.
Hmm, okay.
We waited all winter and all
Yeah.
spring. Well, not all winter. We waited actually, yeah,
Yeah.
Super
All
Bowl,
winter and all
all
spring.
winter and all spring for him to
Hmm.
finally decide to sign with the Pittsburgh
Hmm.
Steelers. I don't really have much more to say about that because I don't give a damn. Like Mike Tomlin said, we do not care,
Right.
but I do think that's probably the
Bro.
biggest
Yeah.
story that I can remember when it comes to summer story.
Right.
Summer
I don't.
sports.
I don't get jizzed up over any AFC other AFC North teams. Y'all do what y'all want. Bring back Jim Brown. Bring back anybody you want, and I don't care. I don't care. We got Lamar. I don't care what you do.
We do not
We
care.
do not care. We do not care. I would say that Dion, Dion's diagnosis with
Oh yeah,
bladder
yeah,
cancer,
yeah, yeah,
battling
yeah.
that, because I have been a subprime critic. As a matter of fact, it's funny in our text line, I was saying the Ravens drafted one of the former Buffalo players. He returned the punt,
Jonte West.
Dante Wester. He returned the punt for a touchdown, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he played for Dion." And somebody in the chat was like, "Who, Garland?" I'm saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, subprime." And so, but prayers up for Deion Sanders. I'm a take away the subprime right now. We're past the whole HBCU thing. If you want to know how I felt about that, go back a couple years ago, listen to the podcast. It's very funny. It's very good about how I felt about Deion and all those things. But we're past that now. He's on a show Improved this year. He's got a whole new thing. He doesn't have the Heisman Trophy winner. He doesn't have his son, and so, but he's battling something bigger to me than football. And so I wish him the best in that. I wish him the best of health. And we'll see, what happens with Colorado. And we want to see something more positive also happen with Dion's recovery.
And I need to change my biggest story. Let me piggyback off of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Carucci got on there and was crying for Dion. Dion, when you start seeing Carucci?
Right.
Carucci! I mean, she
Ain't
was
he
on.
old enough to be Carucci daddy?
Yes. She was on there crying for you, Dion. What's going on? Did Chris Brown know that? Did Chris Brown? Carucci! Dang.
Yeah.
Carucci bad, man. She a little smaller than how I like him, but Carucci bad. Whenever I see Carucci, I be like, oh,
Bro, don't
shorty
say that
bad.
loud. You ain't got no more likes. The only likes you got is Katina. That's the only likes you got, brother. The only likes I got is Paula. Don't I ain't gonna join you in that. She don't look like Paula. I don't like her. She ain't Paula Thomas. I don't like her. Anyway, so yeah, Karrueche, that was a surprise. Like Karrueche, I'm like, oh my god, Dion out here. Shouldn't she be dating Shador or
I
something?
mean,
Or
she was boo-hooing.
Shiloh? We're gonna make it through it. I'm like, Dion ain't got no bladder, but he can still pull him. I ain't mad at you, Dion.
Ain't he missing a couple toes
He missed,
also?
Dion been through a lot the last 2 years.
Dion.
He didn't had toes amputated. Almost had they were gonna take the whole foot, but he kind of like, no, I'm gonna make it.
I
And
gotta
then
keep it. Yeah, I gotta get the Carucci. I gotta
yeah,
watch
but now he ain't got no bladder. He don't know what no Karuchi. He just looking at her.
Dion standing 6 toes down.
6 toes down, and
I think that's what Shannon Sharp told him one day. He
yeah,
said,
that's
"6
what he
toes
doing.
down."
That's what he doing. Shoot, that's what he doing. All right, so there's been another death too, man. I didn't mention that. We talked about two deaths earlier, but there's been a death here locally. The Orioles. The Orioles 2025 season officially ended 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks ago now at the trade deadline. Um, we talked about it a little bit, kind of like in the summer of it has the window officially closed and all of those things. But man, when you think about this season, what do you point to as some of the cause of this?
It's absolutely pitching, and it has always been pitching for the Orioles. You lost Burns, which I guess ended up being fine because he was out for the season in Arizona. But it's just like they can't get consistent pitching, and then when they did have consistent pitching, they weren't getting consistent hitting.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they need pitching, but they did not go out in free agency and get a big bat, a feared bat. One of our buddies, Jason, talks about that a
Yeah,
lot. He's like, we don't have anyone that other teams are scared of.
right.
We don't have an Aaron Judge. We don't have a Shohei Ohtani. Somebody that when they come up with runners on base, there's a potential they may get intentionally walked because they don't want to pitch to them. And he's right. We do not have. We have some young, good, very good players, but we don't have anyone that is a staple in Major League Baseball that we can put in the middle of that lineup that other teams literally have to account for. They need to get some pitching and they need to get a big bat. They just have to, and I think that was their problem. They rested on their laurels of young players, and the young players let them down this year. It
Yeah.
just didn't work out.
I agree with you. I think injuries definitely killed them.
Injuries
They
also,
started
yeah.
off the season in injuries. I think Gunner was on the injured list. They didn't start off with the best pitching. I think their their off season was horrible. The off season of 2025, leading up to the season, was horrible.
And they had
They
an opportunity.
they
They
had an
had an
opportunity.
opportunity.
They didn't make the best offer to Burns. You gave up a good prospect in Joey Ortiz, even though he probably was not going to play because you had Holiday and Westberg in front of him. But you only had Burns on a 1 year rental. You didn't have any control of him, and then you get to free agency. You don't make him a knockout offer. People saying, "Oh, well, he's from Arizona. He wanted to be closer to home." No, if they made the best offer, he would have been here in
He would
Baltimore.
have taken it. Yep.
And so you wind up getting Charlie Morton, who was a home run machine early in the season.
Then when he
Um,
got good,
then when it got good, you brought back Zach Eflin, which you had
uh,
control of, but he's been on the DL and most of this on and off all season. And then finally he's done for the season. And you were trying to, I guess you were counting on Grayson Rodriguez to give you something. And Grayson Rodriguez has never pitched a full season,
I
and
don't
he
think
hasn't
Grayson.
pitched this year.
I don't think Grayson Rodriguez pitched since 2007.
Oh,
That's the
come on,
last.
you crazy. Yeah, and so yeah, you let Santander walk. Okay, Santander was his power numbers diminished as the season went along, but you could at least pencil him in for 150 games. You brought
You
in
put
O'Neal. O'Neal,
Tyler O'Neill.
yeah, he's out every other day for something. And yeah, your young players, I mean, Gunner's power numbers went down, Rushman's power numbers sunk. I'm still out on Holiday. I don't think he's a leadoff hitter. I think maybe he
He's,
could be a number two or number five, somebody who could protect because he's a big swinger.
he's a leadoff
And,
hitter.
and 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 Calvin, he can't get on base. You want
He
your leadoff guy to at least get on
he
base.
he's struggling recently, but there was a point in
Don't make
towards
me
the
pull
middle
up
of
some
the
basketball
season and
stats.
shortly after the All Star game where Holiday was showing what he could do. Holiday's a leadoff hitter. I just think he needs people behind him that's going to help him out. But Holiday's a leadoff hitter.
We're here leadoff hitter.
He's not. How many RBIs does Holiday have?
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
How many
I'm
runs
gonna
does
look it up.
Holiday have?
The reason why I say he's not a leadoff hitter is because your traditional leadoff hitters, these are guys that if it's okay, he has 14 home runs. He only has 45 RBIs. He struck out 111 times.
Well,
That leads the club.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's been striking out.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
to me, his on base percentage is only 301.
Jackson
His
Holiday.
slugging is 387, and
Jackson
so
Holiday's he's
he's going to be good. I mean, I think he's a player. He don't got no glove. He's a player,
his glove
but
isn't too bad. It's not too bad.
Calvin, Calvin.
He ain't winning
Are
no
you trying to
gold
get
glove.
an endorsement with the, or are you trying to swing something with? I know they're about to go up in the ticket prices.
Well, yeah,
You don't want
actually
them to
I
see
am.
this.
Actually I am.
But what I'm saying is about
No, I get it.
Holiday.
I see
Yeah,
what
he
you're saying.
strikes out too much to be a leadoff hitter. But
Yeah,
anyway, they ain't got nothing else though. So
and that's true too.
they don't have nothing else. So that's what you got to do.
Brady
Um,
Anderson ain't
yeah,
coming
Brady
across out.
Anderson not coming through. Al Bumry is not coming through that door. I would say this. This is going to be a show until off season because they have to go out and get major pitching because you can't
Well, they
just
got to get a
depend
man,
on.
and they
Oh,
need a
well,
manager.
yeah. I mean, well, let's start there. Got to get a manager. You got to get some good pitchers because you can't be depending on Kyle Bradish, who's coming off of Tommy John, to expect him to carry you all the way through the season. Wells is coming off of Tommy John. You're not going to have Grayson Rodriguez next year because he just had Tommy John surgery. You're probably not going to have Bautista because he's going to have major shoulder surgery. You got to resign Eflin. You may not even resign him. I don't know what you're going to do with Sagano. Sagano might be like, look, I can go somewhere else and be more appreciated or be closer to more Asian fans in California somewhere. And so you got a lot of questions, and they need a big bat. And so we see what happens with them. But yeah, it's been a death of the summer. Last year, we were excited going to the games, and they were always competitive. They were in these games, although they struggled in the second half of the season. They still made the playoffs. But yeah, they got some work to do. They got some work to do, and we'll see if Elias is up for it, and new ownership is up for it as well. All right, man. That brings us to uh, something that we haven't done in a while, but everybody knows and love. Come on, yo. And so I'm gonna pass it to you first, brother. You got to come on, yo, for us.
Yeah, man, I got quite a few because we've been gone for a while, and it's been some shit pissing me off. But I'm gonna stick to this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because y'all's leader in chief talked about how Baltimore was too far gone.
Man.
From the too far gone city, the Savannah Bananas came in and sold out the stadium on
Yes.
a Friday and a Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Let me repeat that. They sold out Camden
People were
Yard.
sitting up in the left field upper deck. Don't never see that during the regular season.
Sold it out. So for all of you people that are, oh, Baltimore is too dangerous, I'll never go to that shithole of a city and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. You were down there then. You were all over the inner harbor and everywhere downtown then. So I'm not trying to hear how dangerous Baltimore is for you tourists or you Baltimore County or Harford County or Howard County people. I'm not trying to hear. Number one, the crimes are down. You can say whatever you want to say. You can say whatever you want to say, but the stats are not lying. Crime is down. We're at a 50-year low in homicide. Uh, Now, the youth might be a little more trouble, but what does the mayor do? The mayor puts out a lot of programs for the youth. He's trying. Overall, crime is down in all of these major cities. But don't believe that. Believe the narrative that they're trying to sell you. Come on, yo. Stop this bullshit. You got National Guard. National Guard are not trained officers going into DC. They're not trained officers. You want to help the people in DC, who, by the way, crime is also down by 30%. If you want to help the officers in DC, get them more officers, train them a little better, maybe pay them a little more money. I don't know if they're lacking in there, but there are other things you can do than insulting them and bringing in guys that have joined the National Guard just to do one weekend a month, 2 weeks in a year.
Right.
That's what they signed up for.
Basically.
And not to diminish them, because I'm sure they have great intentions, but nobody wants to police a city as a National Guard. If you wanted to do that, you signed up to be on the police force. Come on, yo. Come on, America, and come on, all of you people that are talking about my city. Baltimore is not too far gone. But if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. We're glad that you don't come. Stay away. That's more Oriole games for us. That's more Ravens games for us. That's more of these great eateries that we have around here for us. We
They
don't
got to
give a
wait three
damn.
hours for a
Stay
fish
away.
sandwich. Stay away.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Leave us alone. Leave us the fuck alone.
You
That'll
know
be,
what?
you know what? That's going to be my new saying for Baltimore now. Baltimore, the city that wants you to leave us the fuck alone.
It's crazy. When Brandon Scott first ran for office and he won, I was talking to a colleague and I said the biggest thing that he's going to have to deal with is the perception of crime. He could get it down, but there's always going to be this perception that the city is dangerous, that the city is off the hook. And you have local media, Fox 45, Sinclair Broadcasting, that don't give him any favors because they constantly perpetuate that the city is blowing up, the city that the youth are out of control, the city is taking money, taxes, and they're using it for whatever. And you never get any accolades. I mean, they control the main newspaper, the Sun, and they have a television station. Everything's negative about Baltimore. Everything is bad about Baltimore. And I always believe if you tell a lie often enough, people start to believe the lie. Um, he's done a great job. He's done a great job of engaging youth. He's done a great job of trying to bring businesses and investment to the city. And so, the city's making a trend up, and we need more stories to support that. And so, I agree with you. I mean, obviously, Trump's trying to get the spotlight off of him with the Epstein stuff and all this
Nah,
stuff. And so
his
it's all
slight
calculated.
his sleight of hand right now is diabolical. I
Yeah.
mean, he
Yeah.
went he next he gonna pull the rabbit out of the hat. Like
Yeah.
his sleight of hand.
He's
He's already
doing,
played the 3 card Monty, and he fooling him. He fooling him, but
yeah.
we know
He
what you're doing,
he
sir.
he 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 grabbing for anything. I saw him doing the Kennedy Center honors. He's going to honor Gloria Gaynor. I Can't Survive. I'm like, Gloria Gaynor had one hit and Kiss. Yes, and I'm going to host it. I'm like, yo, Donald Trump is really trying to get all of this attention off of him because of this stuff. And so it's crazy. Come on, yo. Uh, all right. Come on, Sador Sanders media machine. Shador Sanders. All in my algorithm ever since OTAs has been Shador is winning training camp. Shador is the best thing in OTAs. Shador is making throws. Uh, Last Friday, Shador got out and won the Super Bowl of the preseason against a horrible team, the Carolina Panthers. One of my friends said I was a hater because he was like, "Yeah, it was the most watched preseason game ever." I was like, "Yeah, because it wasn't nothing on." It's like nobody watches baseball, so I was like, "What? There was nothing else on TV. What were they supposed to watch?" And oh, you're a hater. I'm not hating on Shador. Shador is going to be playing before the end of the season. Although he's still number 4 on the depth chart there, he will be playing before the end of the season. I think I said it in some earlier podcasts. I thought Cleveland was a good place for him because that's a great offense and it fits his skill set. And so I thought that he would do well there, and I think he is going to do well there. But let's slow down, y'all. He's playing against the twos and the threes. They're not playing in season schemes. They not hiding coverages and doing these different things. They playing very vanilla, and so Shador's good, but let's slow down Nike with the ads. Let's slow down with he's the greatest quarterback since Otto Graham in Cleveland. Let's slow down, y'all. Slow down, y'all. Slow down on the Shador Sanders train. And we'll see what happens. I wish the brother the best. I ain't hating on Shador. More quarterbacks. I'm all for it. But yeah, it's preseason game number 1, y'all. Let's see if they start. Yeah, hey, if he's that good, could y'all start him game 2 in Baltimore when they play Baltimore here in the regular season? Could y'all start him in that game? Because I trust me, I'm gonna be very happy if I see Shador Sanders running out behind center in that game. Because we're gonna annihilate. Oh my God, they're gonna eat a rookie game 2 against the Ravens. Okay. So yeah, slow down, y'all. Slow down. Take your time. Take your time, Cleveland. Take your time, Black America. I know it's because y'all feel it was a slight. Like the brother got jerked. And he gonna come back and show the man because he got jerked. He shouldn't even went that low. They did him wrong. Come on, y'all. They didn't have him ranked that high. It all fell out the way they were supposed to. But he landed in a great place because he's going to get his, Joe Flacco ain't going to last the whole season. Kenny Pickett ain't going to last the whole season. Dylan Gabriel might be on the practice squad, and so he's going to get his chance.
Bro.
Man.
Let me just say this. I thought you had really turned the corner.
I did.
You decided to go from the daddy to
the son.
You could have talked about Terry McLaurin not signing with the Washington Redskins.
Who?
Jerry Jones not signing Micah Parsons, and literally talking about the Dallas Cowboys and
nobody care about the Cowboys. No.
You could have talked about any of that, but you decided, well, since I'm not going to talk about him anymore because he had to go out, he had to go out and get cancer. He had to go out and get a disease on.
I didn't say that.
I'm gonna talk about his son. The sins
Coach
of the
Prime.
father should not be held against the son.
I'm all for Coach Prime. I'm Coach Prime down this season. I'm gonna get the sunglasses. I'm gonna get the Coach Prime shirt. I'm all for Coach Prime this year.
But you spanking his son.
I ain't spanking his son.
You're so wrong, yo. You could have talked about anything NFL.
That was the most telling thing.
You decided, Terry McLaurin, he'll be all right.
Nobody think about Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones,
Trey Hendrickson. Ain't nobody thinking about that.
You could have talked about any of that, but here you go.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's that Shedeur Sanders. There's something about that kid that
I'm not talking about Shedeur. I'm talking about the Shedeur fans. The Shedeur media train.
It's still Shedeur related.
I ain't say nothing against the brother.
Related.
Hey, I ain't say nothing against the brother. Come on, brother, because there's a conspiracy out there against the quarterback in the NFL. So
I'm just saying. Let me
say nothing about Shedeur.
Let me hit you with a Will Smith real quick. Keep the Sanders name out your mouth. Yo, I can't. As soon as you said Shedeur, you was like, come on, Shedeur. I was like, oh, God.
I said, come on the Shedeur Sanders media train. Not Shedeur. Shedeur, you cool.
Y'all.
It's the people shooting the videos in the practice. I want them to stop.
Thank you for joining us. This is week 1 of the Shedeur Sanders Hate Club.
I'm storing them up, Shedeur. You're going to get your accolades, my brother.
I can't wait until we do our AFC rankings and hear what he got to say about the Browns.
Coach Prime.
And their 6 quarterbacks.
Coach Prime, I'm praying for you guys. Praying for you, Coach Prime.
But not the Shedeur Sanders media train.
No, not Shedeur Sanders media train. But Coach Prime, you got my support. I got your back.
Hey, man, we're live on YouTube right now. You can see us on all the podcast platforms.
Yes.
And if you have Spotify, you'll get to see our faces and the hate on Garland's face when he talks about Shedeur Sanders.
Get well, Coach Prime.
You have been listening to
the
B.I.G.
Show.
Coach Prime. This show was produced and written by Calvin Coates and Garland Thomas for All Things Black Productions. Follow us on all of your podcast media platforms.
Yo!